Once upon a time, in a little house that stood in the shadow of a great wall, there lived a man and a woman who wished for nothing more in the world than a child. For years they had hoped in vain, but at last, it seemed their quiet prayer was to be answered. From a small window at the back of their home, they could look out upon a magnificent garden, a secret world of vibrant flowers and lush herbs. But this garden was forbidden, for it belonged to a powerful enchantress, a woman whose name was spoken only in whispers, and no one ever dared to cross her wall. One afternoon, as the woman stood by the window, her gaze fell upon a patch of the most beautiful Rapunzel she had ever seen. Its leaves were so fresh and green that a deep and unshakable longing took root in her heart. Day after day, the craving grew, and knowing she could never have it, a shadow fell over her. She grew pale and miserable, and the light began to fade from her eyes. Her husband, filled with a quiet alarm, finally asked her, "My dear wife, what is it? What troubles you so?" "Ah, if I cannot eat some of the Rapunzel from the garden behind our house, I feel I will simply fade away." The man, who loved her more than anything, knew what he must do. He could not bear to watch her suffer. So, under the deep blue cloak of twilight, he found his courage, scrambled over the cold stone wall, and dropped silently into the enchantress's garden. He hastily gathered a handful of the crisp green leaves and returned to his wife. That night, she prepared a salad from the Rapunzel and ate every last bite, a look of pure contentment on her face. It tasted so wonderfully good, so perfect, that the next day her longing returned, 3 times as strong as before. To give her peace, he knew he must go back. And so, as evening settled once more, he slipped into the garden. But as his feet touched the soft earth, a figure emerged from the gloom, her eyes like chips of ice in the fading light. It was the enchantress, and she was standing right before him. Her voice was sharp and cold. "How dare you, creeping into my garden like a common thief to steal my Rapunzel? You will pay dearly for this. Please, let mercy stand in place of justice. I only did it out of desperation. My wife saw your Rapunzel from our window, and she was overcome with such a longing that she would have wasted away without it." The enchantress's expression softened, but only slightly, a flicker of calculation in her eyes. "If what you say is true, I will allow it. You may take as much Rapunzel as you wish, but I have one condition. You must give me the child your wife is to bring into this world. It will be well cared for. I will look after it as if it were my own." In his terror, the man agreed to everything. And when their child was born, a beautiful baby girl, the enchantress appeared as promised. She gave the child the name Rapunzel, and then, just as quickly as she had arrived, she vanished, taking the infant with her. Rapunzel grew to be the most beautiful child under the sun, with magnificent long hair the color of spun gold. When she turned 12 years old, the enchantress led her deep into a forest and shut her away in a lonely tower. The tower had no door and no stairs, only a single small window at the very top. Whenever the enchantress wished to enter, she would stand at the base and call out in a clear voice, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Hearing the call, Rapunzel would unpin her heavy braided tresses, loop them around a hook by the window, and let them fall all the way to the ground below. The golden cascade was so long and strong that the enchantress could climb it like a rope, and in this way, she was the girl's only visitor. After a few years had passed, it happened that a king's son was riding through the forest. As he passed near the tower, he heard a melody drifting on the wind. a song so enchanting it made him stop his horse and simply listen. It was Rapunzel, filling her lonely hours with the sound of her sweet voice. The prince felt an immediate pull to find the singer and searched for a door to the tower, but of course there was none to be found. He rode home, but the song had touched his heart so deeply that he returned to the forest every single day just to hear it. One evening, as he stood listening from behind a great oak tree, he saw the enchantress approach the tower. He watched in silence as she stood beneath the window and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." He saw the brilliant braids of golden hair tumble down from the window and watched as the old woman climbed up and disappeared inside. A spark of hope ignited within him. If that was the latter, then he too would try his luck. The very next day, as dusk began to settle over the forest, he went to the tower and, mimicking the enchantress's voice, he called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Instantly, the shimmering rope of hair descended, and the prince began to climb. When he appeared in her window, Rapunzel was terribly frightened, for she had never seen a man before. But the prince spoke to her gently, his voice kind and reassuring. "My heart was so moved by your singing that I could find no peace. I knew I simply had to see the person who owned such a beautiful voice." Hearing his soft words, Rapunzel's fear began to melt away. When he asked if she would take him for her husband, she looked at his handsome, earnest face and thought to herself that he would surely love her more dearly than old Dame Gothel ever could. She placed her hand in his. "Yes, I would gladly go with you, but I don't know how to get down. If you bring a skein of silk with you each time you visit, I can weave a ladder. When it is finished, I will climb down, and you can take me away on your horse." They agreed he would visit her only in the evenings, for the enchantress always came during the day. For a time, their secret was safe. But one day, without thinking, Rapunzel said something that sealed her fate. "Tell me, Dame Gothel, how is it that you feel so much heavier for me to pull up than the young king's son? He is with me in just a moment." The enchantress stared, her face twisting into a mask of fury. "You wicked child! What is this I hear? I thought I had hidden you from the entire world, and still you have deceived me." In her rage, she seized Rapunzel's beautiful hair, wrapped it twice around her left hand, took a pair of shears in her right, and with a cruel snip, snap, the golden braids fell to the floor. Her heart was so pitiless that she then took poor Rapunzel far away, casting her out into a desolate wilderness to live in grief and misery. That very same evening, the enchantress took the severed braids and fastened them to the hook by the window. When the prince arrived and called up with love in his voice, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." She let the golden hair fall. The prince climbed, his heart full of anticipation, but when he reached the top, he found not his beloved Rapunzel, but the enchantress, her eyes glittering with a venomous light. "Aha! You came for your darling, but the pretty bird is no longer in her nest to sing for you. The cat has taken her, and it will scratch out your eyes as well. Rapunzel is lost to you. You will never see her again." The prince was beside himself with pain and despair. He leapt from the tower, and though he escaped with his life, he fell into a thorny bush below, and the sharp thorns pierced his eyes, leaving him blind. For years he wandered the forest, eating nothing but roots and berries, his every waking moment a lament for his lost love. He roamed in misery until, at long last, his path led him to the same desolate wilderness where Rapunzel now lived with the twin children. One day, he heard a familiar voice singing a sad, sweet melody. He followed the sound, and as he drew closer, Rapunzel looked up and knew him at once. She ran to him and fell upon his neck, weeping. As she held him, 2 of her tears fell upon his eyes, and in that moment, the world came back into focus. He could see again. He looked upon her face, and then at his children, and his heart was full. He led them from that lonely place back to his kingdom, where they were welcomed with great joy, and they lived for the rest of their days in happiness and peace.